Okay. All right. So, we're gonna just talk about kind of my story first and how I got
Yeah.
started. Obviously, you guys probably have seen it on social media a million and one times, but I'll talk about it again. So I got started with Beachbody after I was diagnosed with my rheumatoid arthritis, and so that's been about 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years this fall. And I remember seeing somebody working out and doing the PiYo workouts, and I had messaged her and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, it's with Beachbody." And I remember going home that night and Googling what is Beachbody. So I had like no idea that this was a business opportunity or that, what it involves. Like I had heard of P90X in passing and Insanity, but I didn't really know that there was like other programs. And at the time, it was like still kind of a new thing, or fairly new.
Mhm.
So Beachbody, the company actually was formed like in the late 80s, and I did not know this. So like some of the first, like there was obviously like P90X, but before P90X, it was like Power lifting and stuff like that. Like it's just really interesting. And so it's actually one of the oldest like network marketing companies out there, which is kind of cool because there's so many different ones like popping up. And so at least like this one is stable. And that was important to me too, as when I signed up as a coach. Also, like I wanted something that just wasn't like a pyramid, and obviously they're illegal, but still I just didn't want somebody at the top like making all the money and me working my butt off and not earning anything. And so to this day, like I can honestly say that is not the case. Like you can, as coaches or as if influencers now are trying to use the influencer thing because that's like the hip thing right now. So as influencers, you can actually like outrank and out earn me or my coach. And actually, like my coach, she was an athletic trainer in New Jersey for a high school out there. She was able to quit her full-time job. I think it was like 3 or 4 years in coaching. She's currently 7 years in right now. And right now she's making over 100,000 a year. Like that's incredible. I am about matching like what I made full time. When I quit my full time job, I did not quit because I was matching my full time income yet. I just had an icky boss experience, and I left a good job thinking that like the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. It was not true. And I ended up quitting because I just couldn't take it anymore. And so just looking back, I was like, this was the best decision. Like I always wanted to be able to work from home. I always wanted to find like just like a purpose, like working for yourself and doing something for you and doing something on your own terms. And I think like like when you're in the corporate world, obviously, like whoever signs your check at the end of the day is still in charge of you. And here it's like, yeah, we don't sign our own checks, but you're in charge of what you want to make this business because it's your business. I'm not your boss. Like, you don't have a boss. Like, you literally are what you want to make it and what you want your platform to be. And that's a really cool thing. And so I feel like even with having a background in architectural drafting, I feel like I'm able to like create and like be creative with what I want my business to be. And that's the cool thing too, is like even being a mom now, like I put in the time and the hours that I want. And usually that's like in the mornings. And then I have the afternoons to spend with Aaliyah. So I always like try to cram it all in, and I get up super early and like kill it with my workouts. And then in the afternoon, then I'm able to just spend time with her. And especially now that it's summer out and it's like, well, not summer yet, but getting nicer, right? So we're able to like be outside more and stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. And I'm excited for her to see that you're able to work for your dreams, right? And what you want, and you're able to make that come true. And with a little hard work and a little bit of grit, you're able to stand up for that and be able to have something that gives you a purpose in life and that has that fulfilling feeling. And trust me, like I feel like the corporate world, yeah, it was fulfilling to be able to see like a design that you did like come to life or be built or whatever. But honestly, there's nothing quite like somebody coming back to you and saying, thank you for changing my life. And that truly is incredible, and it has a lot of weight to that. So typically when I always talk about coaching or being an influencer, a lot of people are talking like, oh, man, like the pyramid scheme. That's one of them. We kind of talked about that. I'm not a salesperson. Oh, that always annoys me because I'm like, I'm not either. My last job actually was in sales because I was not only doing drafting, but I was also out on the floor and had to sell like nails and lumber and cabinets. And I hated it. Like every time a customer would come in, I'd be like, like, I don't want to help them. And honestly, that's why I quit, because I just wasn't like an extrovert to like go out and be like, selling stuff, you know? And so I always tell people like, no, you don't have to be a salesperson to be an influencer. Basically, what it's like is if you find a product that you really love, say it's sunscreen or say it's makeup or say it's a restaurant, and you really love it and you had a great experience maybe at this restaurant, or you enjoyed it, it was a beautiful view, maybe you had great food, wouldn't you go and tell all of your friends and family about this new great place to eat? Absolutely, right? So that's kind of the same thing in this business. So if you're getting the results and you're seeing what, you like from our accountability group, and obviously Caitlin hasn't been there yet, or our other Lexi that was going to join us. But so, you haven't seen that yet, or that community, but we have this really great community and it's a lot of fun. And so you obviously, get results and all that. And so it's kind of like a really all-in deal, like it's a package deal, and you want to tell everybody about it, and you want to say, hey, like I feel so much better from working out. I feel great, I feel confident, and I want to help you feel this way too. And that's really what it's being about. It's kind of like making suggestions. And I feel like all the time with being an influencer on social media is like I get asked about baby products now that I'm a mom, or I get asked about hair products, or lashes or makeup or whatever. And so it's just more about like creating those referrals to people and being like, hey, this is what I do and I love it, and I think it would be a great fit for you. And as coaches, what we really are, we're storytellers, and we are also helping people find solutions to their problems. So whether that's a nutrition problem or a workout problem, or being able to create freedom in their life, of freedom of finances, is having an extra income that's a residual income, of being able to just have something passive to get, instead of, they always say time is money. But honestly, like I've taken almost kind of 6 months of maternity leave. Aaliyah is going to be 6 months next month, and I really didn't do a whole lot with my business the last 6 months up until like probably this month. I just kind of took time off. I was still hitting my goals every month and helping new people, but I wasn't really actively like, really helping other people like start their own businesses too. And so now is the month that I felt like finally, like I feel like I'm on a good schedule. She's on a good schedule. So I'm able to do that. And so during that time, I was still earning money. So that way I could still buy groceries. I could still buy all those, diapers and things like that, baby wipes, all the baby stuff is expensive. So, so anyway, and cute clothes, right? That's important when you have a little girl. And so I was able to do all of that. And so just knowing that I was able to support our family and to help out with groceries or whatever, and yet I wasn't really doing a whole heck of a lot, and that's like that passive income that, whereas like if you're working in the corporate world, like you go to work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever, and you have to be there. Whereas here, like you work a couple hours in the morning, you work when it works for you. Maybe that day you don't even work at all. Maybe you just do a post, or maybe you just show up in your accountability group and do that, and you're able to still like earn an income from that. And that's amazing. So another thing about hesitations is I don't have a large network. Neither did I. I had like maybe 200 friends on Facebook, if that, maybe 50 followers on Instagram, because Instagram was still a baby. You create it into something that you want as your platform, which is really cool. And I've in that I've found like my farm girl voice. I found a voice for my arthritis. I found a voice for my faith. I found a voice for shopping and fashion and home decor, So, I mean, that's all me in one. And Hobby Lobby, like, we just love Hobby Lobby.
We don't have one here in Canada, so it's
You don't?
No.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! Have you ever been to one?
No.
Oh man! Oh, you are missing out, girl.
Well, and then they closed the border because of Corona, so I can't come down to Montana for my shopping trip this summer. So.
Oh. Yeah, no, Hobby Lobby is amazing. Like I
I
could
see
work in
all your Instagram and I'm just like, I want a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, no, we go in there and Taylor's just like, like he's like, okay, like I'll just let you be in here for like 2 hours. I'll drop you off and come back in like, 2-3 hours. Because I could just browse. Like it is just the best place to just like go and have a cup of coffee and like, I don't know, just look at everything.
The closest we have is like a HomeSense.
Oh, okay.
And it's still not the same.
Yeah, we don't have those here, I don't think. Maybe there's one in Fargo, I don't know. But
Yeah,
No,
no.
we don't have one.
yeah.
Okay,
no, I
well, it's kind of like similar, but really it's not the same.
Yeah. Well, that stinks. So, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't have a large network either when I started. So, just knowing like you can build that. And it takes time. Like, definitely, this business doesn't happen overnight. Like, I mean, I've been working this business for 5 years, and I mean, we have a great team, but I'm definitely not like in the top Beachbody, earners or anything like that. I'm not a top coach by any means, but I'm also believe that when we have a smaller team, we're able to work more one-on-one. I was actually just talking with somebody this morning that she's on one of the top 10 coaches, like she's underneath them with like just health and fitness. And she's like, honestly, I've never even heard from my coach. And I'm not going to say who it is or whatever, but I was like, oh my gosh, like that is crazy. Like, have you ever thought about like switching? Like, obviously we're still a small team and, but you get that one-on-one time, you get that like family quality time from that. And that's what I like, honestly. And so also another kind of like hesitation is I'm not at my goal body. And I've heard this so many times too. I'm like, oh, you don't have to be. I'm not either, especially being 6 months postpartum. Like, I still have like 10 pounds to lose, but more than that, I still have a ton of toning to do. And after having a C-section, like I just feel like my body will never be the same. And obviously, like I'm totally not complaining. Like Aaliyah is worth every stretch mark and every fat cell that I have in my body right now. But also I know that it's a process, right? And like that's the cool thing is you can inspire people where you are at in your journey, no matter if you have 100 pounds to lose or 5, or you're at your goal body and you have 6-pack abs. You can inspire somebody no matter where you are at. So basically, all of this too is that like obviously I'm not here to like pressure you guys and be like you need to coach, but obviously I've told some of you that already and you need to coach. But no, it's like I just want to find out what's best for you and I want to help you do this. And I see, because I've been there, I've been in your shoes, and I kind of have a potential of seeing like an old antique or something like that that's kind of like, has those leadership qualities. We just have to polish them up a little bit, right? And that's what I see in you guys. So take it as a compliment. I always tell people like, hey, if I invite you on our team, it's because I want you to be here. It's not that I go and invite everybody because that's not me. I want you to be here. And so by meaning that I work with who I want to work with. And the same goes for you guys too. Not everybody makes a good coach or influencer. So you work with who you want to work with. And a lot of about our team is just being surrounded by like-minded people who look to inspire one another. So another cool thing is that like obviously starting your own business like takes a lot. Like I've always dreamed of like having like an online boutique or something like that maybe down the road, but that all requires an investment, and so that's the cool thing about this. Really our only investment is like drinking Shakeology or the performance line at Beachbody On Demand, and Beachbody On Demand is what, like $99 a year, and Shakeology is like $115 a month, $97 if you live in North Dakota, and you get the coach fee waived, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, it's not that bad. And obviously those aren't Canada prices. So disclaimer there. So, yeah.
It's like another like $15 on top of everything.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. And I mean, with all that being said, like, if you start up your own company, like I can't imagine, you need a storefront, you need inventory, you need all that, where all of that is done for us. You don't have to do that, or you don't have to worry about that. Another really great thing about coaching is Lexi and I were just talking about this is that like now with everything being at home, like this is really the opportune time to start something like this because everybody is looking to do something like this. And
Mhm.
I was telling her that actually yesterday I was talking to somebody who works out from a gym and she's like doing online classes right now or whatever. And I was like, I think gyms like going forward are just going to have like, they're going to have to rethink like their branding structure because now like everything is at home and people like want to do stuff at home. You know, they realize they can roll out of bed and look the way they look and go work out and they don't have to wear makeup. They don't have to like have cute leggings. They can work out in their jammies if they want to. And so I think people are really going to have to rethink that, you know, going forward. And so I think we have an edge up on that. But also we have the nutrition. We have the workouts, we have beach bars, we have athletic wear, like we have the gear too. So like Beachbody, one thing is they have a lot of things to offer. And so that's really cool as well. Whereas gyms, do they post weekly meal plans on gyms? Probably not. Do they have like a nutritional shake that you can do? They probably recommend things, but they don't have that, you know, so that's really cool. I also wanted something when I was looking, you know, at coaching. I also kind of wanted something that was going to be in style all the time. And honestly, like when you look at it, LuLaRoe, like where are they now? Like, do they even have leggings? Like, what happened to them? You know, now it's all about Zaya. Zaya will be the same exact way. You can mark my words. In a couple years, they'll be like, what the heck was Zaya? You know? And so you'll have these pop-up companies, you know, even like Pink Zebra, like Scentsy, you know, like they're not really that big anymore.
Yeah.
And so Beachbody and health and fitness, I always like to say, is always in style. You know, even if we go through a recession or whatever happens with all of this corona stuff, people are still going to want to get healthy and lose weight and feel good because it helps relieve anxiety. It helps relieve stress in their life. People aren't always going to have time or money for candles or leggings or sweatpants or whatever your, you know, company is, you know, but health and fitness is always in style. So that was also really important to me as a coach too. Um, so another thing about coaching is when you have success in your business, it's not only limited to your efforts, but also to your team and what they place on this business and the effort that goes into that. And so that's what I was kind of saying about like the passive income is that as you expand and as our team grows, you're able to earn bonuses, you're able to like earn free trips. I've actually earned 5 free trips through Beachbody, but they're always this time of year. So they're like always March, April. They actually canceled this year's because of the corona, but I've never been able to go because it's always like prime time farming, you know, stuff that's going on. So this year they were going to go to Mexico. Last year they did a cruise to the Bahamas and like the private, like the Castaway Key or whatever. Like obviously that's the Disney, but they had some key that they were going to. Um, and so, yeah, I've never been on a trip, but I love to go. They look really fun. So someday I always tell like my coaches, someday, like I'm going to pick one of you and then we'll go together because Taylor's never able to go.
Yeah.
Um, so what the heck do really coaches do? So we work on our own transformations and we help others do the same. We also share a big accountability group. So now we have like this new private app. Lexi kind of knows about it. It's like BOD group. So basically you're able to track more things specifically. But we also have our Country Strong Fit Club on Facebook. And we just use that group as a whole. Like Lexi knows she's seen people, like my coaches add people in there. You know, it's like one big group and we just kind of do it together, you know, and that helps take the stress out of, you know, you starting your own group. And, you know, all of this is new. Like really as a new coach, the only thing that you should be doing is sharing your story on social media and talking to people about, you know, doing this with you basically, like who would make a good coach, who would make a great customer, you know. And I always say like, even if you have your list of like in your head, like, oh, this person would be a great coach or this person. And even if they tell you like, no, which obviously it happens to me all the time. Like I get ignored, I get blocked, I get whatever, you know, on a daily basis, but it's more about knowing that it's not right for them at that time. And it's more about sharing, like I said, being a problem solver to people's problems, you know, and having a solution and also just providing people with that value. So I love that sometimes you look at people's pages like on Instagram or whatever and you're like, is she even a coach? Or is she even this? Like, what does she even do? And I love that because you don't even know, like, where some people are like flat out like, oh, I take these pills or these, whatever. And I'm like, oh, like, ugh. And I actually had somebody message me this morning with Zaya, and I was like, girl, like, I don't even follow you, like, like, I don't even, I just do my own thing. Like, of course, I'm super nice to these people, but and respond back, but at the same time, like, I want to be different. I want to stand out. I don't want to look like just the next door neighbor who sells whatever they sell. And so I want to provide people with a value, whether that's recipes, whether that's like, I don't know, baby tips or whatever, new mom tips, just things that like makes life go around, right? And just people are able to come back to my page and be like, hey, I really like following her because she was really great and really had great tips for this or that, and so it's more about like standing out and being different. And so another thing that we do is we take time to be a better person through personal development. So that's another huge thing, is like listening to books or podcasts, having like more positive outlook on life. And honestly, I can tell a difference like in my life, like growing up, like even looking back like on your Facebook like time hop, and you're like, oh my gosh, I was so negative, like, or whatever. Even when I started to like coaching and stuff, like I can just tell a difference, and you just get more confident and comfortable. Like, it's just like anything, when we were kids, when you were first riding your bike, like, we always watch like Full House. I actually record like the old episodes on our DVR. And so like whenever Taylor and I like in the evening we'll watch like old Full House reruns. But anyway, the one where Michelle was first riding her bike and she fell off, and that was like, that's the same thing about this business. There's so many times in the past that I've failed. I've maybe said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing or whatever. But honestly, the more you do it, the more comfortable that you get and the better you get at it. And every day I'm still learning. Like, I've been in this business for 5 years. My coach has been in it for 7 years. And I think we can probably both say that we're still learning. Like, it's a new thing every single day. And I think that's common because our business is social media based. So if we weren't like learning new things and growing every day, like, we'd probably not be successful. But that's a part of life, right? You have to learn and grow every day. Okay, let me look here. So another thing that's really great is obviously we have accountability and peer support. You can have success partners as coaches. We have our accountability group, which is really cool. So honestly, I'd be lying if this business, I said like, yeah, I'm not a salesperson, but yes, it is about sales, right? It is about sales. So there are, different things every single month. Like, we call it Hitting Success Club, which is helping like 3 people a month. And if you don't hit that every month, like nothing happens. Like, you're not fired, you're not laid off. Like, it's your business, like I said in the beginning. But honestly, like I said, Hitting Success Club is what's going to help you earn free trips. It's going to help you also get free leads with Beachbody. So basically, if you help 3 people a month, Beachbody sends you free people that like maybe they'll buy something from you, and so you're able to like reach out to them. It usually has like their email or phone number, address, whatever, that you're able to connect with them. So that's really cool too. So sometimes if people are like, oh, I have such a small network of people that I don't know of anybody who's going to do this. Same, girl, same. I started out that like we live in Gackle, North Dakota. The population's maybe 300 on a good day if you count all of the cats and dogs in the city, the stray ones. And so I feel like I have had the same problem. All our neighbors are elderly. Like, most of my coaches, I can honestly say, are out of state and even not, in North Dakota. They're more Midwest. And so that's why I say like Midwest. And I also feel like North Dakota is still very new at all this stuff that, you can do online. And so there is hesitation there, but also I feel like it is a good opportunity because there's not much of it, so it is a good opportunity to provide people with like a passive income or to find their purpose or to be able to do this, as a team. So yeah. I basically, like I said, I'm not here to like twist people's arm. I'm not here to, hold a gun to your head and be like, you have to do this, you have to work out with me, you have to do this. That's not me. I just want to be able to share my story with people and help as many people as I possibly can. And honestly, when it all comes down to it, if I helped one person by signing up and being a coach, awesome. The worst that can happen is that you'll look really fabulous because you'll get in shape and you'll feel really great, and you'll inspire just one other person. Like that's the worst. And maybe you'll build a group of friends. Like honestly, I can say that's one thing is in high school, like I had one best friend and she's still like a really best friend, close friend. She lives in Bismarck, and her and I still talk. She was actually in our labor and delivery room when I was in labor. Like she's a nurse. She's awesome. I love her to death. She's never done Beachbody though. And I'm not going to be the one to ask her to do that. And actually, because I'm an only child, like that's even more against me. Like some people will sign up their siblings and stuff too. And I'm like, I don't have anybody. But no, I just, I feel like that's another thing too. Like, you don't have to like, I never ask my friends or family. Like none of my family really has supported me. Taylor's sister on occasion buys Shakeology, but that's really it. So I feel like with this opportunity, we're able to meet a lot of different people and connect with a lot of different people. I met both of you on social media. We didn't know each other previously, right? And we had some weird, like divine connection. And so I feel like that's what's happened with a lot of our coaches and my coaches on our team. None of them, I can honestly say, I knew before this opportunity. And it's really cool because like last year we all got to meet it when we went to Indianapolis. Like we were just like a big family. Like it is so cool. And like when somebody hurts, like one of our coaches lost her grandpa this year, like just we all hurt for her, and when somebody is celebrating, we celebrate with her, and it's just one of those things like we're like family. It's kind of like the sisterhood of the traveling pants, but like with fitness. Right? We pass around the shaker cup with the traveling pants or the traveling shaker cup. But yeah, it's just a really fun time. And if anything, if all else fails, you get really great shape, you meet new people, you have new best friends, you create this family, and you maybe inspire someone. That's if it all fails. But if you're successful, like you might gain a huge team. You might be able to retire from your corporate job. You might be able to have a passive income to go on vacation. You might be able to buy groceries. And obviously, you just have to start somewhere. So there's kind of, speaking of starting somewhere, there's kind of like 3 different kind of levels, and obviously there's kind of in betweens. And when I first started, I just kind of wanted to be the lowest rung, like the discount coach, just to get my product paid for. So basically you drink Shakeology, you work out, you maybe help like one person a month, or not even, maybe you just want the discount just at a cheaper price. Nothing wrong with that. The next rung is a hobby coach. So basically you're working full time, still at your corporate job. You maybe help, 3 to 5 people a month, if that, like nothing happens. Like I said, if you don't help 3 to 5 people a month is what you make it. And you share the passion for what Beachbody has done for you, and you want to share it with others. Basically, that's the hobby coach. And then a business builder is like an all-in, like eventual full-time, like coach that wants to do this and sees themselves like, here. Basically, they're committed to do this. They're wanting to do this. They're all in. And so I've been every single one of those, and that can change. But I think the most important thing in this business is finding your why and why you want to do this. And we talk about that more like with one-on-one training, and like, what our team provides. Like we have a ton of training that's simple and it's easy and it's effective. And we have team calls with our upline team. There's a ton of Beachbody like training online. It's not hard. This business isn't rocket science. Like I'm not a math person. Like I hate quick math. Like when somebody is like, what's 9 and 9 plus 7? I'm like, I hate quick math. So I'm not like a business, like techie person. Like there's things that I'm not good at. And this business, yet it takes that and like refines that and it makes it simple, and it's a simple process. You don't have to have a degree in business or marketing or whatever. It's all teachable. The biggest thing that, like I said, is I see leadership qualities in you guys. It's just about polishing it up a little bit, right? And like creating that. And so we also have like one-on-one mentoring with me, and we're able to talk, like, and one thing that I like to say is I match your guys' pace. If you want to be a hobby coach, I'm going to help you be a hobby coach. However, if you want to be a business builder and be all in, I'm going to be there running with you, but if you want to take this slower, I'll be there to hold your hand and walk you through this. There's small group training, there's social media training, there's countless trainings and videos, that we can talk about, if you decide that this is for you. But most of all, it's just a place to really dream big and just to be able to live your best life. And, to be able to do this with a team and to have people that want to do this with you. So yeah, that's kind of like what coaching is in a nutshell. Do you guys have any questions? We have like 7 minutes left, so we'll just kind of open it up for any questions or discussion or whatever.
I think probably more detailed questions about just like how the pay even works, because I'm just wondering, like, is it something that would be worth, trying to jump in and do part-time? Because I like for sure I'm going to have my part-time job with AO1, and that's like the job I love and actually would hope to do full-time someday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering, I guess, like, is it worth it to kind of jump in and try to start making some money, or should I jump into another part-time job,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, if you're going to do this part-time, we're going to try to train you, and might be like a lot, obviously, like when you start anything, it's going to be overwhelming, right? Mm-hmm. And there's days where I'm still overwhelmed, and you just have to take a deep breath and be like, okay, this is the important stuff that I have to do today. So like, we'll work through that. But yes, as far as like the commission and like how you earn is obviously through selling, and you just want to be able to help people with how you were helped. So basically like signing somebody up with a challenge pack, and all it really takes is to be able to get your products paid for is 2 people underneath you. That's it. And you've basically paid for your product. Anything else after that is all like free money.
Like 2 people doing the BOD program?
Yeah, or like a challenge pack. So like Shakeology, or the Performance Line. So a challenge pack, Caitlin, is Shakeology or the Performance Line with Beachbody On Demand. So you don't have to do both. You can do both, but you don't have to. It's one or the other, and the on demand, and the workouts. So yeah, I mean, that's the best way to get people started. And I say like, that's the nice package deal too. So that way they have like everything they really need at their fingertips, you know what I mean, to see results and get healthy. And then, the cool thing is if you're helping them get results and they're in our group and they're seeing results, they're maybe going to want to coach too. And maybe they know a couple people that they want to refer, and maybe they have a mom and a coworker that wants to join, or do something too. So that's where you really see is once you start building a team, that's really where you start, and it just really depends, like income wise, like where you want to start, and like where, if you want to earn $500 a month, then I'm going to show you the tools to be able to do that,
Yeah.
Does that kind of help?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
yeah,
obviously there's bonuses too. So like at certain ranks, like 2-star, you earn it's a quarterly bonus of like $1,000. And then like once you hit like 15-star, which is like top of the line, you're like a top coach. If you hit 15-star, their quarterly bonus, this has nothing to do with your income or anything like that, your regular commission. Their quarterly bonus as a 15-star is like $45,000. It's insane. And that has nothing to do with like I said, your regular weekly income. You also get paid weekly too, which is really nice. Because I know at my old job, I would get paid once a month. And sometimes like, if you need groceries or whatever, like it's hard, to budget yourself for like once a month paycheck. And so at previous jobs, like it would be every 2 weeks. So I was kind of used to that format, and, it's hard to budget yourself. So it was really nice to be able to have, even though I was working full time, to have like a weekly income coming in, whether it was $50 or $200 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
That's really helpful to know. Like, I just the other day finished college for going to school for 4 years, and I was like, time to graduate is like right now, I guess, during the coronavirus. So there's like no options to go to work, and I'm like, I'm sitting on a pile of debt. I'm going to school. Where do I go? Where do I make money? What do I do? So like, and I remember you and I talking over the last like year now, I think it's been, like we've last been talking about it. I'm like, okay, I think I need to talk to her about this, because like I need to figure out like another option. And like I went to business school. I have a degree in marketing. So it's like I kind of maybe like, kind of know a little bit, but like in school, we are told network marketing is not allowed. You should never go into it. Like it is like stapled into us that you should not be a part of it. So it's like, it's crazy to think that like that's a thing. Cause like I'm doing my research into everything. I'm like, I want to know what this like company is. And like when you said that Beachbody's been around since the 80s, I'm like, okay, that's pretty awesome. Like that they've been around that long. Like if a company can make it that long, because like what, LuLaRoe was around for like 2 years, and then they were selling moldy leggings. So
Yes.
So like, yeah, it's pretty nice stuff. So yeah, and then like getting to know you and stuff, like we have very similar lifestyles. Like you're a cattle farmer wife, and like I'm part of a cattle farming as well. So it's kind of like, getting that kind of similar lifestyles, because I'm like, I don't want to jump on a team with somebody that does not know my lifestyle, does not know the way I work, or does not know the way I'm a part of it. So yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm glad that you brought that up too, because I feel like sharing your story and being relatable to other people too. And like so many people tell me like, oh, you're so down to earth. And like, I'm sorry, like I'm just being myself. Like maybe it's just like the North Dakota nice thing, like maybe it's just that, but like, I feel like that is so true. Like I'm just being myself. Like I'm being honest with you. Like I'm not going to lead you astray. Like these programs work. Like what I do works. Like I want to help you do this too. So but yeah, I mean, you girls think about it, and then I'll like private message you after this, and we'll talk more, about it. But yeah, I mean, Lexi, you're kind of golden already, but Caitlin, like you would, we'd have to sign you up or whatever and get you started and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, and then like I said, I'll message you privately after this. But thanks so much for hopping on, and I hope it was somewhat informative, somewhat interesting. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Awesome.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.